Love is a whirlwind of happiness, but also a hole of pain. I am Frances. I am 32 years old. I live in Canada, more precisely in Montreal. I am an architect. I have been married to Kate for 4 years, and we have a young daughter, Kilia. Before continuing, I invite you to subscribe and above all leave me a comment. Thank you. I met Kate back in our university days. She was in the same faculty as me. We got to know each other, and right away things got serious between us, and we got married. Our wedding was simple. It took place by the sea, and it was attended by only a few people, just our parents, our witnesses, and a few friends. Notwithstanding, it was a very beautiful wedding. Kate and I loved each other deeply. The love we felt for each other was so great that we were ready to sacrifice ourselves for each other's happiness. In short, it was just perfect. My witness at my wedding was Mike. Mike is my best friend. We grew up together and also studied together. He is an intelligent and very hardworking young man. Sometimes, I wonder why he doesn't have a fiancé yet. All the girls he went out with ended up leaving. But Mike, what's your problem? I asked him several times. I don't know, dude. They're not serious, that's all. Yet Stephanie sincerely loves you. I don't know what happened. She was the one who decided to leave. Take her back, man. I'm sure something is wrong with you. We started laughing out loud like two kids. I admit that we got along a lot. He wasn't my friend, but I already considered him a brother. When I went on a mission, he was in charge of managing all my financial transactions to give them to Kate, and he did not hesitate to help out whenever a need arose. In short, he was my support system. I didn't know that he was going beyond what I asked him to do. What bothered me a little was the fact that there was too much complicity between the two. We had the impression that they were in a relationship. They always agreed on everything, and the way Mike looked at her implied a lot. But well, these were only assumptions. I still remember that famous day as if it were yesterday. I was sent on a mission to the United States, 1 week before February 14th. It's a special day for Kate and me. Because we got married on that day, we will always organize intimate and very romantic dates on that day just to rekindle the flame of our love. But this time before leaving for my mission, I told Kate that I will not be back until after the 14th. Dear, this month's mission will take longer than expected. We will be out for 2 weeks, so I'll only go home after Valentine's Day. No problem, my love. I'll wait for you with open arms. Kate quickly packed my suitcase and I left. While I was in the United States, I prepared a huge surprise for Kate. She didn't know that I had the intention of going home on Valentine's Day. This day was so significant for me that I didn't want to miss spending it with my wife. I took the flight on February 14 early in the morning, very happy. I arrived Montreal around 4 p.m. I quickly took a taxi to the house. When I arrived, the house seemed deserted. I called Kate, but in vain. She didn't answer. I rushed into the room to see if she was there. What I experienced changed the course of my life. I saw my wife in the arms of a man. Kate, what are you doing? Who is this man? The two lovebirds, surprised by my voice, suddenly got up, and at that moment I saw that it was Mike. Mike, are you cheating on me with Mike? I left the room quickly. My heart was bruised. I felt like I was losing my mind. Kate couldn't do that to me. No, not my Kate. It couldn't be true. I left the house. I heard Mike calling me, but I didn't pay attention. I walked for hours and hours, not knowing what to do or where to go. I sat in a public garden, and without realizing it, the tears dripped from my eyes. Yes, I cried with hot tears like a child. I couldn't believe it. Kate could do everything, but not that. A few hours later, I was caught up by Mike. He was in a car, trying to find me. Frances, please listen to me. Don't get close to me. I never want to see you again. Please listen to me. I beg you. How much time? How long has it been? How long have you been sleeping with my wife? For 2 years already. 2 years? For 2 years? Mike knelt down and asked me for forgiveness. I beg you, Frances, forgive me. It's all my fault. Are you not supposed to be my best friend? You destroyed my life. What's wrong with you? I watched him begging me for several minutes. Then I got up and left. That night I didn't go home. I decided to take a hotel room to spend the night. Don't they say that the brings advice? Meanwhile, Kate had stayed at home, trying to get to me. She called me for hours and hours, but I categorically refused to answer. She sent me several messages, begging me to come back so that she could explain to me, but I did not answer any of them. I spent the night at the hotel, but I couldn't close my eyes. My pain was far too great. I was thinking about our marriage, all those moments of happiness. I couldn't believe that all this could happen to me. The next day, I went home. I found Kate sitting on the sofa looking depressed. When she saw me, she got up and came to me, but I pushed her away with fury. Never get close to me again. You disgust me. She began to cry. Forgive me, Francis. I beg you. I beg you. The more she spoke, the more I felt rage and resentment. You destroyed our marriage. How did you do it? I only feel disgust for you. Listen very well to what I'm going to tell you. Take your things and leave. No, Francis, please don't do that. Please. Don't you knew I cared about you, but you still cheated on me for 2 years with Mike, my best friend. But why, Kate? Why? I sit on the ground all week, unable to bear the atrocious pain I felt. I watched her beg me, but I still felt resentment towards her. I refused to listen to her. I finally decided to leave the house. I had taken an apartment not far from my place of service, to try to think of this huge injury that was still gaping. I was found for comfort at work, and little by little the pain was fading. I had undertaken to apply for divorce, but when I thought of my daughter, this idea split my heart. Soon, out of the curiosity and doubt that invaded me, I decided to do the DNA test to see if my daughter was really mine. That day, I went to pick her up at school to spend some time with her. I took the opportunity to remove a lock of hair from her, which will be used to do the test. 2 weeks later, I went to withdraw the tests that turned out to be negative. Kelia was not my daughter. I was shocked. I felt like dying. I put the paper containing this result in my hands and went home to show Kate, but she didn't look surprised at all. So Keila isn't my daughter? A few weeks later, I started the divorce procedure. All I wanted was to be far from Kate. I didn't want to see her again in my whole life. Once the divorce was pronounced, I decided to go live in another country for a while. Several months passed, and I began to forget Kate. But I was still trying to hear from my daughter, at least from Kelia. I ended up learning that Kate was already living with Mike, and that they had even planned to get married. I admit that the news did not surprise me at all. Thinking about it, these two were in love, but I was too in love with Kate to see it. Now I continue to think about my wounds, and I even believe that they will soon be healed.